quarter-final draw of the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup inter-club competitions, which was held in Cairo on Tuesday. Holders Ahly will face Tanzanian side Simba in the last 8 as they seek a record-extending 12th Champions League title. Five-time winners TP Mazembe of DR Congo take on take on DR Congo's Angola Petro Atletico, with Tunisian giants Esperance de Tunis locking horns with ASEC Mimosas of Cote d'Ivoire. The other Tanzanian side in the hat, Young Africans, entertain South African Titans Mamelodi Sundowns. The winner of the Premier Continental Tournament will take home $4 million in prize money. Well, in the Confederation Cup, the Egyptian derby side between favourites Zamalek and Modern Future were playing in only their second continental campaign headlines the draw. Rivers United of Nigeria face Algerian outfit USM Alger, while Abu Salem of Libya are up against it when they take on two-time Confederation Cup champions RS Berkane of Morocco. Stade Malien have a date with Dreams FC of Ghana in the last 8 of the competition, where the winner will pocket $2 million in prize money. Right, so for more on continental football, we're pleased to welcome David Kwalimwa, who's an online editor with the Nation Media Group here in Kenya. He joins us live from our offices here in Nairobi. Kwalimwa, thank you for joining us. To start us off, we have two Tanzanian teams in the CAF Champions League quarterfinals for the first time ever. How far do you think Simba and Yanga can realistically go?
Thank you, Mahia. Of course, it's Tanzania's time to shine in the Continental Championship. Remember, East African football is not quite renowned to dominate on the continental stage of club football. In fact, you have to go back to 1987 when an East African side really made an impact in the then Cup Winners' Cup, the Kenyan club Gor Mahia winning the Cup Winners' Cup known as Mandela Cup. Well, Tanzania's young Africans almost equaled that feat last year, but could only get to the final of the Confederation Cup now. Fast forward to this season, and Yanga will face Mamelodi Sundowns, which is a very formidable side, the South African side. It's hard to see Yanga getting out of here, but not quite impossible. All odds will be on Mamelodi Sundowns to progress to the semi-finals, but the trip to Dar es Salaam will not be easy for the South African side. Remember, they'll expect a packed stadium in Dar es Salaam. The Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam will be packed with 60,000 fans screaming in favor of Yanga, so it's not going to be an easy one. And then Simba as well, who've been perennial campaigners in the Champions League, getting to the quarterfinals at least 3 times in the recent times, will face Ahly. This is a rematch of the African Football League, if you remember, Mahia, where the Egyptian side prevailed at the expense of Simba. This should more or less be the same. Remember, Simba, Ahly rather, 11-time champions of Africa. So with that pedigree and a little bit of quality players compared to Simba, the Egyptian side is really expected to dominate the Tanzanian side, Mahia.
Right, so good news for East African teams, Kwalimwa. Not so good news for North Africans. They have, of course, long dominated the CAF Champions League. What's happened this year, in your opinion, that leaves only 2 North African sides remaining?
Well, most teams are better prepared for this tournament, considering the prize money involved, $4 million for the winning team in the Champions League and $2 million in the Confederation Cup. So most teams are preparing well, buying quality players, training harder, going for training camps even outside Africa in anticipation for this tournament, because just qualifying for the quarterfinals of this tournament, you earn up to $700,000 US, which is quite some amount by any African standard. So North African teams have been caught out a little bit, but I expect them to be back very soon, even as we continue seeing this competition develop a heighty taste at this stage.
Right, and let's quickly talk about the Confederation Cup, Kwalimwa. As we've seen in the quarterfinal draw, some big names are in there, and there is an Egyptian derby. Which teams do you think will make it all the way to the final?
Well, I'll tip Zamalek of Egypt, who are also perennial contenders. It's a surprise they're in the Confederation Cup, which is a little bit more of an inferior tournament compared to the Champions League. But I expect Zamalek to go all the way alongside RS Berkane and maybe USM Alger from Algeria. I expect these three North African teams to have a say on how this tournament will go. But just don't forget Rivers United from Nigeria.